Welcome to the Never Been Promoted podcast with Thomas Helfrich. Get ready for a thrilling adventure as we uncover entrepreneurial journeys and life-changing business insights every week. And now your host, Thomas.
Welcome back to the Never Been Promoted podcast, where I help you unravel, unbound, and unleash your entrepreneur. Today's topic is about the right team. Having the right team will make all the difference in your entrepreneurial journey. And it's not something you may have right from the get-go, but I will tell you, you're going to need a team to scale and grow. And in my own example of building my own company and the hundreds of entrepreneurs that I work with every month, I will tell you, if you don't have the right team, you're going to have some issues growing your company and be successful the way you want to. Because behind every successful entrepreneur, there is a dedicated, capable team. If not, you're just a solopreneur. So if you want to grow, you want to get big, you got to have a great team. And I'll give you some examples, and let's talk through a little bit of what those are, just from the real world of what you've seen and what I've seen in my own company. Now, first of all, understand why you need a team. You need a team because you can't do everything. When you first start off as an entrepreneur, you're going to do lots of things, and you're going to discover things you're great at, and you're going to discover some things you're not so great at. And you'll definitely know things you love to do and things you hate to do. And in that's where the team comes. The team comes help you to scale in delivering services. It helps you in maybe developing your product or marketing it or selling it or keeping track of the accounting. To pick a really good team is going to be the key differentiator really from growth for scale. And the process of building a team really goes behind just hiring an individual with good skills. It really involves like this kind of harmonious force that's bringing a lot of people together for the sum of the benefit of all. It's called like a gestalt. It's the sum of the pieces are more powerful than the individuals. And so you have to make sure you have team members that are going to work well together, especially in the early days. If you're not picking people that are working well together and they know their role and they know how to extend and help others, you probably picked the wrong person. Because that team dynamics is going to also then create the culture, and it's going to create kind of the vibe of the company. And that's going to spill over to your customers. It's going to spill over into your marketing copy. You make sure that you have people that are great communicators, they work well together, and they do have the skills to execute. One of the rules we did in my team growing my team was, for instantly-relevant.com, is I made sure that every person was able to clone themselves. They knew from the beginning they needed to be able to train their replacement, not because I wanted to get rid of them or anything like this. It was because it was the only way they could grow and scale themselves. That way they gave them the ability to have a backup. It gives them the ability to do what we do in our company, which is have a 4-day work week. Without it, they wouldn't have a coverage on the day that we need coverages for the services for our clients. So they knew this in the beginning. So it's really important when we were hiring people that we found people that were very easy to work well together. They can follow process. They can still be creative and execute. Now, when you hire a team member or you have a whole team coming on, you do need to train them. You do need to give them processes and let them know what their role is, what the expectations are, and what you are going to look for them from a success and failure standpoint. It's really important to be transparent and communicative with them. Otherwise, they're not going to know what success looks like. They're also not going to know what you expect from them. So take these things into consideration when you hire somebody that it's a plant. You got to feed it, right? You got to water it. You just can't hire it and let it sit there and let it figure it out. You need to be part of this journey for them. And as you grow, have other people, be part of that journey as well to train them. You're going to have to nurture this team's growth with continuous kind of effort. You're going to invest in them with training, with experience, with interactions. They are an investment. Your team is going to be critical for your success, so make sure you treat it as such. You're also going to need to continually reevaluate your team members. You got to make sure they're in the right role with the right skills. For example, I've hired one of the main people in my team I'd brought on originally to maybe create content and manage some things maybe at a VA level. What I quickly found out is he was the most organized person that I've met. He was really good at organizing the structure of the services and how we deliver it and how they interact with the customers. And I changed his role to be more of the operations lead and less content because he was much better at doing the operations. And then we found people to go fill the idea of content. We found some people to do the more creative work that I originally thought I was going to hire him for. And it's important to understand those talents and how you can bring them out in people. This comes down to just asking. You can do some more formal assessments like, DISC or performance index or pieces that are out there that allow you to get an insight to how they think and what makes them tick and what makes them motivated. It's really important because you don't want to put the wrong person in the wrong position. Now, on that note, your team is going to grow and they're going to be there for a while with you as you grow your company. Just because somebody's been there a long time doesn't absolutely make them a good manager. And what I'm saying clearly is don't promote somebody just because they've been there longest. Make sure that you have somebody who is capable of managing other people. You see this all the time in companies that become very successful, or as companies have grown over the years. They have people who've been there a long time, they've defaulted into management positions, and they are not managers. They're maybe individual contributors, they may be really good at sales, but they are oftentimes not good managers. Put managers in management positions, put doers in do positions, and put strategic type of people in strategy type positions, or salespeople in sales positions. It's okay in the early days to have a blend or a very flat organization, but as you mature, your organization gets more hierarchical, and you'll have to have some span of management and span of control. Just be very careful who you promote or who you put in those positions. And I would say doing it just because you've been there the longest is one of the worst reasons to do it. Even if they really want to do it, and even if they feel like they deserve it, if they're not managers, they're not good at managing people, they shouldn't be in management positions. So I can't stress to you enough, the importance of building a really good team is going to really configure how your culture is going to form. And we'll get into that in another podcast, but you have to have a team, you have to have critical positions, and you need to pay people correctly. So don't always look for the cheapest employee, you don't always look for the lowest paying. You're going to get the quality of employee based on what is fair market for their skills and talents. And keep this in mind, it is an investment, but you should have defined ways to return that investment to your company so they are adding value and benefit. Don't just hire to hire. Don't bring team members on just because. Make sure it's thoughtful. You have a good plan for them. You know what the role is going to be, and bring in the right team members together. And in the early days, it's super critical. Specifically, if you're going to bring an executive where people are taking functions of your business and going to go run with it, you need really, really strong people in those positions, and then the people that work for them. Take the time to learn your team. Take the time to be in the moment with your company to understand what the needs are. And if you build a great team, you're going to have great success. As always, if you need anything, come find me at neverbeenpromoted.com or connect with me on LinkedIn under Thomas Helfrich. I appreciate you listening today. Thanks for listening to the Never Been Promoted podcast today, and go unleash your entrepreneur.
Thanks for listening to Never Been Promoted with Thomas Helfrich. Make sure to check the show notes for our guest contact information and any relevant links. Connect with Thomas personally at neverbeenpromoted.com.